For me, I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, so a lot of times I use the values and the disciplines, a lot of the camaraderie and the sayings we had in the military are always going in my head. So, it's pick them up and set them down, march from the waist down. As long as I keep marching, I know I'm moving forward. And so those are things that in my everyday life and my family, I teach it to my kids, that my children know cadence like the back of their hands. Well, I started out with NAMI. I was actually one of their speakers for their Be Vocal series. And I would go around and tell my story, just a way to, for me, helping me, and then to give hope to other people and actually bring awareness to mental health. And I did a lot of that in the classrooms. I also went to a bunch of the different police stations when they did their trainings and gave my stories there too. The police will be there and asking questions, willing to learn how to go about it. So I think it's really great that mental health awareness is out in the community, and everybody needs to play a part because it happens to all of us. Mental health is a nationwide concept, whether it's you may have a mental health condition or someone you know or someone you know who knows someone you know. So I think the better we're able to have a conversation about it and not keep it hidden under the rug, the easier and the less stigma will be attached to it. To me, even though I have a mental health diagnosis, I am not my diagnosis. I'm so much more than that. In my job, I work as a peer specialist. So in my job, I actually make sure I make that point that having a diagnosis or any other disability doesn't define you. It just means that you have to find your own special way to get things done. But you're still able to do whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. And so I expect my recovery to happen simply because I know that's who I am and that having a diagnosis does not define me. Instead, it just gives me another option. When I think of hope, I actually, HOPE for me is having options for my own personal events. So I have many different pathways that I can still obtain whatever my dreams, whatever my goals are. And for me, it's a matter of how you look at it. You heard the concept is the glass half full. Am I disabled or am I special or strong enough to go through life with a diagnosis? I am going to be performing a piece of poetry that I wrote as I was transitioning from trauma therapy. Actually speaks about the recovery process and the re-education of myself that I got from the benefits of having therapy. And the actual title of the poem is The Re-Education of Me. Figure out what makes me tick, why I do the things I do, and why my thought processes are the way they are. And so this piece just brings it all together. And for me, it's given a sense of hope. The motto that, never quit, keep fighting. And as long as you keep going, you'll find your sweet spot. Poem ends with, I finally love me.